It is the Riot Podcast, the Tuesday, September 12th edition, and we'll start today's show with the elephant in the room. Yes, I am wearing my Aaron Rodgers jersey for the second day in a row. No, I didn't wash it in between. And what else do you expect me to do?
Tough night.
Yeah. I did use it to cry myself to sleep last night. By now, I'm sure you probably heard, I don't think the Riot is necessarily your source for breaking news, but Aaron Rodgers left the game, his very first game with the New York Jets, left on the first offensive series, getting through just 4 plays before he seems to have the fear is that it may be an Achilles injury, which would have very likely have him out for the rest of the season, if not end his career, just because it'd be a difficult injury to come back from when he's been around for so long. The Jets, though, did still manage to win the game last night against the Buffalo Bills, even despite having Zach Wilson in at quarterback.
It's a good win for them. I'm reading just an hour ago, Ian Rappaport put out his story on Aaron Rodgers, who's feared to have torn his Achilles, which the MRI is expected to confirm today.
Ooh.
Not looking good.
That's bad news.
For Aaron Rodgers.
That is bad news. So a couple thoughts I have on this, and I've had some time to think. First of all is congratulations to the Jets on the win last night.
Good win?
Yeah. For them to be able to overcome the adversity. I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers getting injured, leaving the field, getting carted off. It took the air out of everybody's sails, and yet they still managed to battle back with a little bit of help from Bills quarterback Josh Allen. And the Jets managed to get the win. I think it's really a testament to the winning culture that Aaron Rodgers brings with him. You think the Jets win that game last year with no Aaron Rodgers, even though he barely played in this one? No, not a chance. Now, Aaron Rodgers, you bring him into the building, even though he's not actually playing, he demands the best. He got everybody on the same page. And you have to admire that. That's what makes him the GOAT. Secondly, Aaron Rodgers, if anybody can battle back from this, it's him. Wouldn't you say?
He has a chance to.
He has a chance, whether it's through the standard, operations and rehab, or maybe he has like a shaman or something that he calls up. He gets on the horn. Whatever works, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be back out there. I think we're going to get some good news eventually. You think he's going to come back
this season?
Yeah.
No.
What about next season?
It's tough to say if he's going to return. They say it's projected, if he did tear his Achilles,
yeah,
he would get surgery within the week, essentially, and then he would be
fast track it.
He would predictably be ready by like the spring if he wanted to play again next year. Do I think he'll come back? I don't know. When he was in Green Bay, he talked about retirement more than quarterbacks that were actually retiring.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if he would come back for another season. I think if he had played multiple games with the Jets and they looked good, and then he got injured, it would be more likely for him to come back. But now at this point, for him to have not played any meaningful snaps, get injured, have to wait till next year to play again, he just is a year older.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if he came back for next year. At this point, I think he might be done.
He just seems so fired up, though. He just had a fire in him up until he got hurt. And so maybe that fire is still burning bright, and it's going to motivate him to get through the rehab process. I think almost it might be more likely that he comes back just because it was so quick that because you just have the questions in the back of your mind of what could have been if you never even try. Maybe he gets back out there, and I can't even believe I'm saying this. Maybe he gets back out there next year and he sucks, but at least you know.
I was just saying.
At least you know. Whereas if he just says, you know what, I don't know if I'm ready to rehab. He could be back in the spring. It's not going to be an easy rehab, but he's got to get back in shape. He's got to heal up anyways. might as well have a goal in mind
Like
of being back on the field.
And my question is, too, how long do the Jets want to wait around? Like their
Yeah.
franchise, now this year is going to be Super Bowl or bust, essentially is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play at all this year and they wait till next year and they let him be their quarterback again, like this franchise is just pushing their real answer at quarterback down the line. Because Aaron Rodgers, I mean, there's no, in my mind, if he does come back for next year, that's it. Has to be
1 year, yeah.
1 year deal. And then after that, then the Jets can figure out where they're moving forward with. It's just tough because also with the Jets, if they have Zach Wilson as their quarterback the rest of this year, I personally don't think that's, I mean, you're not left in good hands, obviously.
No. Possibly the worst quarterback in the league.
Exactly. And you're in a division with the Bills, who they ended up beating last night, but are a very good team. The Dolphins, who looked really good this past Sunday, and the Patriots, who looked formidable against the Eagles. And so they're in a very tough division. This Jets team could, even with all the talent they have, could fall off the rails really quickly with Zach Wilson at quarterback. And then you start to think, what's everybody talked about every Saturday this year? How good all the quarterbacks look. Why would they not go with Drake May?
Yeah.
Why would they not draft a quarterback and start building for the future instead of hoping that Aaron Rodgers comes off of this torn Achilles, possibly, and comes back and is good again? I mean, it is obviously, his height is so great, and you think that he would come back next year and be really good, but also it's a risk for the Jets to push it down the line another year of possibly trying to find their answer at quarterback for long term.
Yeah, it's true. It's true that it really puts them in a difficult spot. This year, assuming Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, what do you think? What do you think is, first of all, do you think they pursue somebody else, some kind of free agent? And secondly, what do you think they wind up doing?
I think it would be smart of them to go get like a Carson Wentz or even a Jameis Winston would be an upgrade over Zach Wilson just because of how he played last night. He just did. I was really hoping that he was going to come in and look good.
Yeah. He looked all right in the preseason.
I was like, this is storybook.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, who everyone's been hyped up for, goes down and Zach Wilson comes in and kills it.
Aaron Rodgers said he wanted to hand it off to Zach Wilson in a couple of years.
I was like, here we go.
He had a lot of faith in the guy.
They did win the game, but Zach Wilson did not look good.
No.
And so just looking at their schedule ahead, especially with this division, I don't see them being any more than a right at 500 team. I think max wins they walk out with is 9, and that's super hopeful. I think they're closer to the 6 or 7 range than 9.
You look at how good the defense looked, and yet again, the Aaron Rodgers effect of elevating everybody on the team, quite frankly, even just his presence, his spirit. And I think the Jets almost made the playoffs last year with a bunch of tomato cans at quarterback. I think they can, whether they bring in somebody else or just ride with Zach Wilson, their defense and every other spot of the roster is so good, maybe they can still make the playoffs. I will concede.
There's no way they can make the playoffs.
I will concede they're not going to win the division now. Clearly, that will be the Patriots. But I think the Jets still, they've got a great roster, and you just never know. Finally, I want to finish this off by spreading some blame around. Because, it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault, is it?
That he got hurt?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nobody's fault he got hurt. It's just how it goes sometimes.
It is somebody's fault. It's
the O-line?
Let's look at the fault pie. I give like 10% to the offensive line. It wasn't very good.
It was pretty bad last night.
Yeah. So, I mean, what is he in for 4 plays, and he was running away on like 3 of them.
3 of the 4.
And then I give more of the blame to the NFL for having these turf fields.
Okay.
Which Aaron Rodgers and many other players have complained about in the past and said this exact thing would happen, and then lo and behold. And then finally, I put the most blame on the Green Bay Packers.
Whoa.
Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst, I hope you slept well last night knowing you may have cost a man his livelihood by running him out of town to a dangerous situation when you could have very well just kept him in. The Packers scored 38 points with Jordan Love at quarterback. Can you imagine what they would have done with Aaron Rodgers back there this weekend?
I think that people might argue in the Green Bay Packers fanhood, they might say they made the right choice.
We'll see about that.
Is Jordan Love ready
We'll see
to
about
take
that.
over the reins? Would Aaron Rodgers have put up 38 yesterday?
All I'll say is whatever...
he didn't put up any last night, unfortunately.
Yeah, whatever Jordan Love winds up doing, and it may be very good. Maybe they win the Super Bowl for all I care. I'd be very happy with that as still a lingering Packers fan. However, it would be better with Aaron Rodgers.
But they're doing what the Jets aren't, which is moving on. The Jets, what's their plan in 2 years? They don't have one. The Packers, they might have found out on Sunday.
Who cares about 2 years from now? I care about now. I care about today. And Aaron Rodgers, if he was in Green Bay, they would have already won the Super Bowl this year.
In your heart.
Yeah.
In your heart, they would. So not a Jordan Love fan. I'm glad that we've gotten that on
he
the
looks
air.
good. He's just not, he's no Aaron Rodgers. Call me when he wins a bunch of MVPs and Super Bowl.
He played. He played on Sunday.
He had the benefit of grass.
He got sacked, and he played.
It's the riot.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
Oh, this is so exciting. I don't think I've ever done this. Voting is now open for the sexiest man alive, according to People. And you could have your say. You could cast your vote, I'm seeing here. I've never done this. Isaiah, you want to cast your vote for the sexiest man alive?
I don't think it's fair for me to put in my opinion.
Why do you say that?
I don't feel like this is really my thing. So for me, I think it's interesting to talk about. But I think this is more of a girl thing.
You can't.
Than for me to vote on it.
You can't.
Because it doesn't matter to me. So I wouldn't want them to take my vote into consideration if it's going to ruin somebody else's day.
You can't objectively.
I mean, I can tell you who's going to. I can tell you who's going to win.
You know?
Oh, I know.
Who do you think it's going to be?
See, when they look at some of the possible options, right?
Yeah.
Keanu's on here.
No way.
You didn't see him on there?
No, I mean, I see him.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to.
There's no chance that Keanu is going to win.
I'm naming the options.
2023.
Keanu Reeves is on there.
Yep.
We also have Harry Styles, who's a front runner every year.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do it.
Joe Burrow's on there. We all know he ain't winning recently.
Yeah.
Am I right? Or am I right? It's going to be Ryan Gosling.
You think Ryan Gosling?
He's on there as a possible candidate. That Barbie hype. It's going to shoot him straight to the top.
I don't think so, although he is a sexy man. But I think we can't forget, go back in time about, go back to February, I would say. Yeah, because it was around the Super Bowl. Think about how all enthralled we were with Pedro Pascal. You're telling me he's not going to win just because the Last of Us hasn't been on TV for a little while? Pedro Pascal is the sexiest man alive.
That's your pick?
Yeah. I mean, I love Ryan Gosling. I love Paul Rudd would be an excellent choice. He's won before, I believe.
He won like 2 years ago, so I think it's too soon for him.
Yeah, too soon to he can't repeat so close. But Pedro Pascal may be the right choice. I'm looking through here. When you vote, you don't just type in who you think the sexiest man alive is, because obviously I'd type in myself. But what you do is they have it broken up into categories. I think there's a malfunction with the sound effects. But anyways, you go through the categories. I'm looking at, so I have the category here, sexiest musician. Okay, Harry Styles, understand why he's in. Bad Bunny, of course, very.
Bad Bunny.
He's your lookalike, so you should be proud of that. Future, sure. Tim McGraw. They're making sure the grandmas still want to vote, it looks like. Having
Tim McGraw.
Giving the grandmas an option to vote.
He's only
for
56. He looks good. They're trying to do a little bit of everything, you know?
Some of the other categories: sexiest blockbuster star, Keanu, of course. Chris Hemsworth, great choice. Michael B. Jordan, he's won before, right?
He has to have won before, right?
Is it winning? He's been awarded before. He's been named before. And then Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer.
Wow. He's really popular as of late.
He is, huh?
Yeah, on TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know if that feels like a more niche obsession.
Yeah, I've seen him on TikTok a lot. Chris Hemsworth won in 2014. We also had Michael B. Jordan just won in 2020. So I'm not seeing either of them running it back.
These categories are wild, too. Sexiest first-time dad.
Oh! Who are our options?
Brooks Koepka,
Okay.
the golfer. Tom Hiddleston,
People love Tom Hiddleston too.
very sexy. Alexander Ludwig and Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter
Yep.
himself. Who would have guessed back when he was playing Harry Potter that one day he could be up for sexiest first-time dad?
Jeez, if the Harry Potter fans have anything to say about it, we know who's gonna win.
A murderer's row of options there. Well, cast your votes. I know I am for Sexiest Man Alive in all the categories.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
This is interesting right here. A list of the top things that make people uncomfortable. And it's wild to see the gap between men and women for so many of these. But I will tell you that the number one thing that makes both men and women both uncomfortable, it's the same thing.
What is it?
Being naked in a same gender changing room.
That doesn't happen very often, I don't think.
It doesn't?
No.
Like at the gym? I guess is the only place that would really take place, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I guess for people, it's a good thing that is not something that happens very commonly because it makes so many people upset. But this is interesting. Who would you think is more upset? Would be more uncomfortable by that, men or women? If you had to guess,
Probably men.
shockingly, no.
Really?
49% of men are uncomfortable being naked in a changing room, whereas 67% of women are uncomfortable being in a changing room naked.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought women were hyping each other up.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what
I
goes
thought
down.
the ladies are a little more accepting of the body.
Yeah, apparently not. I don't know what happens in women's changing rooms, but the ladies are not comfortable around each other. But for men, it's actually a 50-50 shot whether you're comfortable being naked. For example, Isaiah, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm very comfortable being naked.
I'm in the same boat.
Oh, okay. So we're not split at all. I'm barely
No.
clothed right now.
I go to the gym every day and shower at the gym. So
Yeah.
for me, I know that people aren't paying attention, so it doesn't really bother me too
Yeah,
much.
right.
Everybody feels the same uncomfortableness in
Uh-huh.
there, and nobody wants it to last any longer than it has to.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, I don't get
know.
too
I don't know about
worked up
everybody.
about it.
There's always one weird guy, But that's always I always think about.
I don't
is,
like to think about that guy.
No, but I just think that there's, my body's not the weirdest in there too. I always think about that. It might be now. Never mind. But okay, so the number two thing that made people uncomfortable was crying in front of a friend. But as you can imagine, in this case, it made men way more uncomfortable than women.
I could imagine that.
Would you be more, I guess you're comfortable being naked, so you'd probably be more uncomfortable crying in front of a friend, right?
I think that what I would be even more uncomfortable with is a friend crying in front of me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do
Yeah.
if that happens. I don't know what to say. I have to stand in front of them and be like comforting.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is.
That wasn't listed here as one of the options, but that's so true.
I would rather be the one crying
Yeah.
than have to stand there and be like, it's okay. You don't have to cry.
Yeah.
Like the first time
They're
you cried in
there.
the studio
Uh-huh.
after I roasted you, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. You'd think after it's happened so many times, you would eventually just become used to it.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Next up was having to share a bed with someone of the same gender. Yet again, men way more uncomfortable with that than women.
I don't get that, but
Me neither. You
I don't
never
mind
had
that at all.
sleepovers or whatever as a kid?
yeah, me and my friends
I
growing up.
struggle to think of the situation now as an adult where that would come up, but for men, 42% uncomfortable with that, where just 21% of women. Let's see. Also, we have saying I love you to a friend of the same gender, which once again, shockingly, men way more uncomfortable with that, 45% versus only 17% of women. And this is the funny one to me. Would you be uncomfortable applying sunscreen to your friend's back?
No.
You-
I do that like every weekend.
You do that for me?
I do that for you, yeah. I do it every weekend for my friends when we go to the pool.
When I'm looking down the list, that might be the top one that feels weird to me, even though, like, if you asked, I guess I would. It would just feel weird. But 42% of men uncomfortable with that, just 10% of women.
Yeah, that doesn't feel weird to me at all. I do that literally I do that every Saturday. So that isn't weird for me.
You just gotten used to it, I guess.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
You seen this trend going around on TikTok? It's girl hammers. Do you own an actual hammer, Isaiah?
Of course I do.
You do, because you're a man.
No. Because I want to be able to fix things.
Yeah. Fix things, hang stuff up. It seems here, according to this trend, that for girls, it's less fixing things and more hanging stuff up.
Makes sense.
You got stuff, you just got to hang it up, but you might not have a hammer. And so ladies are sharing the different materials, objects they've used around the house to hammer nails. And some of the examples are amazing. It all started with a video that says everyone's talking about girl dinner, but nobody's talking about girl hammers. A girl hammer could be a Yankee Candle, perhaps. That's one option. Also, Bluetooth speaker.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got to be a durable speaker.
Must be.
Heavy duty. Heavy book. I kind of like that one. What about an empty pot as a hammer, a girl hammer? And then where was the one that was a can of soup is my favorite.
That one, you could burst that open.
Yeah, that could be a mess.
Depending on the nail.
You could have a big problem. So you've never done anything like this, though? You've always had a hammer handy?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I haven't always. Kind of when I went through, you have roommates, you bouncing around places. I didn't have a hammer. That wasn't something that made the trip from house to house that I moved through in life. Now I have a hammer.
Yeah, when I first went to college, my parents got me what I call a stumpy hammer.
A stumpy hammer?
Yeah, it's about the size of my hand.
Okay.
And and then you can kind of like put it anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like for
Keep
like
it in your purse.
For a dorm room, it's like the perfect hammer because you don't need like a full-size hammer for anything in there.
Yeah.
But I still have it. But now I also have a real hammer too in my tool bag. But this here seems like a bunch of failed fathers.
You think so?
Yeah, for 100%.
There's
no reason if you're
gifting their daughters.
This should be a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
100%. If you need, there's two tools that you really need. All it is a screwdriver.
Uh-huh. You gotta have a screwdriver.
And a hammer.
A screwdriver with all the different heads.
Like when dads say, oh, I don't know what to get my daughter for Christmas. I have no idea what to get her. Get her a hammer.
Sounds like my dad. He never
Get her
knows.
a screwdriver. In the moment, she's going to be like, wow, Dad, like, this is a gift that you got me. But when it comes to the day, she'll be happy that you got her that hammer.
You should.
When she's using a soup can to hang up her pictures.
Yeah. You should get a hammer for, like, a girl in your life. Get her a hammer for her next birthday or Christmas. And on the handle, just have it say, you're welcome.
Yeah. You get her, like, a stumpy one.
Yeah.
You don't have to get her a full-size one. You can get her one of the stumpy ones because they're kind of like cute looking too. She's like, oh, look at this cute little hammer.
A mini hammer.
A little mini hammer for me. That's perfect.
I think, for me, I didn't ever use, I don't know. I mean, there has to be a time where I used a shoe as a hammer. But what I would do more often is instead of using nails, I just thumbtack everything. Push pins.
In the wall?
That was my hack, yeah.
Jeez, I didn't know you were such a decorator.
I was, yeah. Well, I had to hang up my posters of Aaron Rodgers.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.